Hi there, welcome to Bear Paw Yoga Whistler. My name is Connor, and today's session we will be focusing on hips and shoulders. If you have 2 blocks at home, that would be great for our practice, as well as 1 foam block. If you do not have either of these, a fold-up blanket works very well, as well as textbooks in substitution for the blocks. So I'll have everybody start by removing the fleshy bits from beneath their sit bones and rooting down deeply into the mat. Hands can come to the thighs, palms facing up for more of a receiving quality, facing down for more of a grounding quality. Rolling the shoulders back and down on your back body, and a slight gliding of the shoulder blades together, opening up through the chest center. Lengthening the back of the neck, gentle tuck of the chin, and here you can close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. With every inhalation, getting nice and long and rooted down through the mat as the crown reaches up. Every exhalation, rolling the shoulders down the back body. Keep an even length with your inhalation and exhalation breath. And engage the ujjayi, so a slight restriction to the back of the throat, making your breath slightly audible. Take 10 deep breaths here. Even inhales, even exhales, filling up the diaphragm, filling up the rib cage, filling up the chest plate, and then a nice long, slow, controlled release on the exhale. And just move through this wave of breath, allowing you to drop into your mindfulness, allowing the thoughts of the day to release, and begin to center yourself on your mat. And once you're finished your 10th exhale, you can begin some seated cat-cows as the hands come to the knees. Inhale and pull the chest forward through the shoulders. The gaze comes up towards the ceiling, stretching through the throat. And then as you exhale, pressing into the knees, opening up through the back body, bringing your breath right into the shoulders. And then reverse again, bringing the chest through the shoulders. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling. And reverse. Press through the palms. Open up through the backs of the shoulders. Pausing in any places that feel particularly sticky. Might be the right shoulder more than the left. And then from there, we're going to roll over the knees onto all fours, tabletop position. The knees will go wide as your mat, and the toes will come together. Press the hips back towards the heels for child's pose. And from here, you can really ground down through the hands and use them to press the hips back onto the heels. Again, using the hands, press the hips back, flare the underarms out towards the side walls. Bring your forehead to the mat and allow yourself to ground down through your third eye center, perhaps giving it a gentle massage as you rock your head from left to right. And then from here, we're going to walk our hands over to the upper right corner of our mat and bring the left hand onto the back of your right hand. And sinking the left sit bone a little bit closer towards the left heel. Bring your breath into the left rib cage. Feel the intercostal muscles expand and contract. And after your 5th exhale, begin to walk the hands through center. And then over to the top left corner of your mat, bringing the right hand onto the back of the left and sending your right sit bone a little bit closer to the right heel. And bringing all your breath into this right rib cage, feeling the intercostal muscles expand and contract, filling up that right lung. And on your fifth exhale, begin to walk the palms back into center again, setting ourselves up for our first downward facing dog. So hands are outer shoulder width apart with pointer fingers directly forward. Begin to tuck the back toes and then press the hips up and back into your downward facing dog. Take a few moments to settle into your down dog here, pedal out the feet. Perhaps bend one knee and stack the hip. Whatever comes naturally to you to settle into your down dog here today. And once you've found your posture, now begin to lengthen through the back of the neck as the shoulder blades roll down and back. Flare the underarms out towards the side walls. Allow the neck to relax, the head to hang heavy, and root down through those heels as best as you can. A gentle outward rotation of the heels. And then from here, walk the feet all the way to the hands for a generous forward fold. Feet are hip width apart. Lift all 10 toes and place them back down on the mat with a little bit of space in between each. Inhale, find that length, and then exhale, melt the chest towards the knees. Allow the head to get heavy. Give it a shake, yes and no. Shift your weight forwards and back. Perhaps grab onto each elbow, or cup the back of the head with interlaced hands. Release the hands, allow them to tent just in front of the feet, and then slowly begin to roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. The head comes up very last. From here, inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Hinging at the hips all the way down. Inhale, find length as you extend through the crown and roll the shoulders onto your back body. And from here, we're gonna step the right foot to the back of our mat. Feet will be shoulder width apart here as you inhale, rise on up. Exhale, sink into your high runner's lunge. Option here to drop the back knee and working into this right hip flexor. If the knee is raised, tuck the tailbone and tuck in the ribs, shortening your core and lighting up your back hip flexor. Arms reach up and shoulders melt down the back body. Back of the neck is nice and long, gaze is up towards the top corner of the room. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, the right hand will come down and the left arm will reach up into the sky. Make a nice long line from the heel all the way to the crown of your head and roll the left shoulder onto the back body, shining your chest to the side wall. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, the left hand will come down to the mat, framing the foot. The right heel will rotate down and plant firmly into the ground, and you'll send the left hips back to your right heel. from here, option to have a block on either side of the front foot. Inhale, find length through the crown. Exhale, melt the chest towards your toes. Feel the sensation of your left hip pulling back, your right hip dragging forward as you melt the chest through the shoulders. One more deep inhale here. Now as you exhale, come onto the back toes. Get ready to press off into a standing splits. Exhale, the toes go high. Inhale will lengthen through the crown. And as you exhale, toes go up towards the sky and the chest melts towards the toes. One more inhale here. See if you can lift those toes just a little higher. Exhale, the right foot meets the left at the top of your mat. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come on all the way up, look up, reach up. Exhale, hinging at the hips all the way back down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step the left foot back. So same sequence, other side. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink into your high runner's lunge. Option to drop that back knee. Tucking rib cage, tucking tailbone, shortening the core. Arms reach up and shoulders melt down the back. Gaze is up towards that top corner. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, the left hand will come down, the right hand will reach up. Roll that right shoulder onto the back body. Help shine your chest towards the back wall. Nice long line from the heel all the way to the crown. One more deep inhale here. Exhale, the right hand will come down, ground down through the left heel, and send the hips back towards the back side of your mat. Inhale, find that length. Exhale, fold. Again, option to have blocks here. Melting the chest through the shoulders, lengthening through the crown. And again, dragging the right hip back and pulling the left hip forward as you do so. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, pressing off those left toes, scissoring the legs into the air. Inhale, find length. Exhale, fold. By pointing the toes, you'll lift that leg just a little bit higher all on its own. One more deep inhale here, lift those toes a little higher. Exhale, the left foot comes through to meet the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, look up, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find some length through the crown, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Tucking the elbows into the sides of the ribs as you lower down, all the way onto your belly. Untuck the toes, feet are hip width apart. Hands placed underneath the shoulders. Inhale, rise on up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Press out through the crown as your gaze is about a foot in front of you on the floor. One more inhale. Exhale, release. And shift the hips from side to side. And your second set of Cobra, gaze comes forward. Inhale, rise on up. Roll the shoulders back and down. Crown presses into the center of the room. Very little to no pressure in the hands. One more deep inhale, lift a little higher. Exhale, release. Shift the hips back and forth. Bring the toes together, knees go wide. Press the hips back over the heels. Child's pose. Come back to your breath here. Allow yourself to ground down through forehead center. And use your hands to actively press yourself back over your mat. We're going to take a short break here, and when we return, we'll be moving into our hips and shoulders. Welcome back to Bear Paw. My name is Connor, and we're going to be moving into our hips and shoulders now. So we were just left off in child's pose. So bring the knees wide, toes together, and press the hips back towards the heels. And then from here, we're going to be pressing ourselves into our downward facing dog. So again, hands are outer shoulder width apart with those pointer fingers pointing directly forward. Tuck the toes, press the hips up and back, downward dog. And from here, the right leg lifts. We're going to sweep it through between the hands, placing it nice and gently without a sound, and then preparing to drop our back left knee. So that's when the red block comes in handy, or a folded blanket, sliding it under the knee. We're going to be moving into a simple hip flexor stretch here, so just by bringing both hands to the right knee, and then sinking ourselves just a little bit lower into the posture. Be sure to stack knee over top of ankle, and see if you can lunge just a fraction of an inch deeper. Option here to lift the left hand and gently bend over to the right side. Bring the bicep beside the ear, drop the shoulder down the back body. One more nice full breath on this left side body. And as you exhale, bring both hands down to frame the front foot. Heel toe that right foot about a half a foot further in front, and then send your hips all the way back to your left heel. Coming up onto your right heel here, press through the ball of your right foot. Inhale, find length through the crown of the skull, and exhale, melt the chest through the shoulders. Again, blocks are great for this posture as well. It's a beautiful hamstring stretch. It can be quite intense. Use your breath to move through that intensity. Use the traction of your right heel into the mat as you drag your right hip back and pull your left hip forward, squaring them off to the front of your mat. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, come on forward onto that front foot. Place the hands on either side. Press into the palms, lift the back leg, step back, downward dog. And from here, lifting the left leg, stepping it through to the front of your mat, and shift your red block over to your right knee. And again, stacking this knee over top of ankle, bringing both hands to the left knee, and deepening the hip flexor stretch on your right side. Option to raise the right arm, bicep in line with the ear, shoulders melt down the back body, and the fingertips help lift you up and out of the waistline. Slight bend to the left. One more deep inhale here into the right side body. And as you exhale, both hands come down, frame that front foot. Heel toe the left foot a little bit further in front of you, about a half a foot, and then send the hips back to your right heel. Coming up onto your left heel here, toes point straight up towards the sky. Inhale, find that length through the crown. Exhale, melt the chest through the shoulders. Again, option to use the blocks to raise the earth. Allow yourself to fold further into your half split. One more deep inhale. And as you exhale, come on forward onto that front foot. Plant the hands on the outside of the left foot. Press into the palms and step back into your downward dog. From here, roll all the way forward to a high plank and begin to lower yourself all the way onto the belly again, bringing the elbows in towards the rib cage as you do so. And from here, creating cactus arms or field goal posts, a 90-degree angle at the elbow and a 90-degree angle from the back of the tricep to your rib cage. And then from here, bring the left fingers tented to where your left elbow just was. And begin to use that to roll onto your right side body. We're opening up through the right shoulder head here as you bring your right ear down to the mat. And use your left leg as a counterweight to add or take away the intensity of the posture. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, roll on through center. Doing the same on the opposite side, so the left arm comes to a cactus or a goal post, and the right fingertips come to where the right elbow once was. And use those fingertips to roll onto the left side body, and the right foot will now be used as your counterweight. Gluing the left ear back down to the mat. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, come on back into center. Beautiful. From there, pressing the hips back towards the heels again for child's pose. And then coming up onto the toes, downward facing dog. And from here, the right leg lifts, bend the knee and stack the hip. Trying to bring the right hip right on top of the left, but squaring the shoulders to the front of the mat. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, sweep that right leg all the way through for pigeon pose. So setting ourselves up, we're trying to work our front right shin parallel to the top edge of our mat. That will give you the most intense posture. By bringing the heel back in towards the center line, it will ease off of the intensity. Once you've found your version of the legs, inhale and lengthen through the crown, roll the shoulders back and down, and keep that length as you begin to walk the hands out. Bring your forehead to the mat or a block. This will allow your nervous system to begin to wind down. If pigeon is a bit tough for you, option to use these blocks to slide under, to just bring the mat a little bit closer up towards your sit bones. next exhale, begin to walk the palms back underneath your shoulders. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg, and step back into downward facing dog. Doing whatever you need to do to release into that right hip flexor and glute, perhaps just rotating the femur around in the hip socket. And then left leg lifts, bend the knee and stack the hip, squaring off the shoulders to the front of your mat. And then sweeping that left leg all the way through. Again, the more parallel your left shin is to the top of the mat, the more intense the posture is going to be. So by bringing that heel back into the center line, it eases off. Inhale, find that length. Use your fingertips to press out through the crown. And as you exhale, keep that length as you begin to slide the hands out on the mat in front of you into pigeon. And after your next exhale, slowly begin to walk palms back under shoulders. Again, tucking the back toes, pressing into that leg and lifting the hips up and back, downward dog. Again, releasing into that left hip flexor however you need. And then planting the feet. Grounding down through your downward dog. Take 2 breaths here. And then walk the feet through the hands and come to a seat. And using the folded blanket or your red block, just sliding it underneath the sit bones, removing any fleshy bits from beneath the sit bones so you can root down firmly into your mat. From here, we're gonna go into eagle arms, so bringing the right arm underneath the left and coming to bind the hands into the center. If that is not an option for you, you can simply grab onto each shoulder. And when you have your eagle arms set, begin to lift the elbows up, bring the fingers away from the face, and from there, roll the shoulders back and down. Bring all of your breath right into the back of the shoulders here. So you feel it open and close with your breath. On your next exhale, arms reach out and up. And then switching sides. The left arm reaches underneath the right this time, binding in the center or grabbing onto each elbow or shoulder, Bringing the elbow tips up and the hands away from the face, rolling the shoulders back and down. Again, focus on bringing all that breath right into the back of the shoulders here. And on your next exhale, slowly release. Thanks for being with us. Namaste.